Hi guys, hope you're good today. I have for you the amazing, the wonderful, great British book haul today. I've got quite a few books to haul because I haven't done one for a little while, and I thought I'd split them up into a couple of hauls, and this one in particular being all of the books I got when I was on my holidays. There are a couple that weren't bought in the UK, but they were essentially part of my holiday purchases, so I thought, well, I would just add those as well. I'm the kind of person who doesn't particularly buy a lot of souvenirs. I'll buy things like my very cute mug from Get when I was in Belgium, or my Petite Prince cup, but generally my souvenirs that I buy for myself are books, hence the huge pile of presents that I bought myself. Starting off, my flight was delayed for about 9 hours, so the couple of small books that I bought sort of to tide me over on the plane and in my layovers and stuff while I was waiting for the next part of the flight, I had essentially finished by the time we were sort of getting ready to board. So I picked up The Giver by Lois Lowry. I'd wanted to read this before I saw the movie. I couldn't actually remember whether or not I had read it when I was younger. I was quite a fan of her books, so I kind of figured that I did, but I really didn't remember anything else at all about it. I have since read this one. I also picked up The Collector by John Foyles. I had never ever read any of his before, and I really did enjoy this. I'd like to do a full review of that one. This basically tells the story of a guy who loves this girl Miranda, and he decides to kidnap her and keep her in his basement. It wasn't... I saw the cover and I thought it was really pretty. I wasn't at all expecting it to be how it was, and I was wondering whether I would enjoy it, and I really did. Now for the British component of our book haul. As part of the Writers of Colour book group that I'm on BookTube and Goodreads, I'd missed the previous 2 months. So while I was on holidays, I picked up Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, and I am looking forward to reading this. I've watched quite a few of the review videos of this, and it does sound like an interesting read. Basically, it tells a story of David, who has this wonderful affair with Giovanni in Paris while his girlfriend is off deciding, I think, if she wants to get married to him. And she comes back and says, yes, I do want to marry you. So David just pretends that this amazing affair that he's had doesn't exist. And yes, tragedy ensues. I also picked up Boy, Snow, Bird by Helen Oyemi. And I don't know if I've made this up in my head or whether I've read it somewhere, but it's kind of supposed to be a retelling of Snow White. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. Maybe I just want it to be a retelling because I like reading fairy tale retellings. And to be honest, I really don't know much at all about this. I know the characters of Snow, Bird and Boy, which is extremely vague and probably doesn't really help anybody at all. But like I said, I am also looking forward to reading this one as well. The synopsis did sound quite good. When I was heading to Aalst for the wedding that I was going to in Belgium, I picked up The 1+1 by Jojo Moyes. This is about a single mother. She has 2 kids. I think she's finding life quite difficult. She doesn't have a lot of money. She meets a guy. I think one of her kids has autism, and that's about all that I know about it. I read Me Before You last year and really enjoyed that book. I enjoyed her writing, and half price, $3.99. I kind of did, that was my first little, this was my first book purchase of the whole holiday, and no, third. But I kind of did my stack over the fact that it was only $3.99. I am looking forward to reading this one as well, though. And I think she already has another one out too. Just like churning them out. I also picked up Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell and Landline by Rainbow Rowell. This came out, I think, sort of kind of around when I first got there. But I've so far only read Attachments by her, and I did enjoy that one. And I'm not really going to go into the synopsis for either of these because I think unless you've been living under a rock, you kind of know what they're about and who the author is. But I am excited to read them. Next up is A Love Like Blood by Marcus Sedgwick. And I first heard about this book when Dylan Books, I will link his, I don't know if he's done a review or if it was just a book haul, but I'll link his channel below. He made it sound very, very interesting. I think it's a vampire story, but with a little bit of a twist. It's not your usual one. So far, I've only read one other Marcus Sedgwick book, which I did quite enjoy. It was She Is Not Invisible, which has a little bit of magical realism thrown in. Precocious electromagnetic child. But yes, I think it's set in 1944, just days after the liberation of Paris. There you go. Basically this guy is chasing a vampire for pretty much his whole life, I think, and beyond the fact that I saw the cover and thought it was beautiful and Dylan had spruiked it, it just sounded quite interesting. When I was getting ready to go over for my French part of my holiday, I realised that I'd forgotten to bring my French phrase book with me, so I just picked up another quick tiny phrase book, which in the end I didn't really use all that much, but it's always handy to have the knowledge, I guess, or the possibility of knowledge of a language when you don't particularly speak it very well, or in my case you butcher it, which is a sad thing because French is such a beautiful language and I'm terrible at it. I also managed to get, it's a special celebration edition of The Tiger Who Came to Tea by Judith Kerr, and this is one of my all-time favourite books. I've loved this since I was a little girl, and I basically bought this replacement copy because I can't find my copy from when I was younger, and the only other copy that I've got is like chapbook size, which I bought, I think at like the 15th or the 20th anniversary, came out with a little tea set. But yeah, I saw this and actually managed to go and see the stage play of this when I was in London, and it was fantastic. It brought back so many good memories, and the guys that were performing, obviously because I was in a sea of children, and children can't sit for long, so there was lots of dancing and doing songs and exercise and singing about chips, and yeah, it was lots and lots of fun. But this is basically, it tells the story of a tiger who comes to tea and eats all of Sophie and Mummy's food, so there's nothing for Daddy to eat when he comes home from dinner. And yes, I'm sure that you probably have seen this before, but if not, definitely check it out. It's by the same lady who does the Mog books. On to our home stretch now, and I picked up Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis. This, I think, is his debut novel. Yes, 1985. And probably in the 80s maybe, or early 90s, I did manage to see the film. I can't really remember much about it beyond the fact that there's lots of sex, drugs and swearing and debauchery. And it's Bret Easton Ellis, so I don't really expect anything less than that. And these ones, I was like, this was, I think, my second pitch, the fit, because it was basically buy one and get one for £1. So I went a little bit spazzo and picked up The Spectacular Now by Tim Tharp. I'm guessing that this is kind of like a coming of age. There is a popular guy and he falls in love with the not so popular girl, and I'm guessing she changes his life magically. Beyond that, I don't really know much about it. I know it has been made into a film with Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley, but I have heard good things about it, so let's hope that it is. I also picked up The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I have been meaning to read this for the very longest of times. It tells the story of Charlie, who's a freshman, and his set of friends are quite a bit older than him, and I can't remember the girl's name, but yes, he I think he falls in love with her. You think I would know? I have actually seen the movie, and I'm assuming that it is relatively similar to the book. I also picked up 2 John Green books. The first, Paper Towns, and the second, Will Grayson, which is written with David Levithan. And to be honest, really, I only bought these because I enjoy John Green's writing. I don't really know much about them. And £1. The last book is also £1, so I suppose I'm happy about that. I think, looking at the cover, I was maybe thinking this was a Sylvia Day book, because they do look quite similar. Like, they have that sort of style of, you know, the matte covers, and there's something kind of feminine on the front and pink and white writing and stuff. But this is actually called The Silver Chain by Primula Bond, and it's book 1 of the Unbreakable trilogy. I have no idea what this is about. I'm guessing it's a dirty sex book by the fact that there's like a chain and there's ribbon, and something about commanding shit and good things that come to those who wait, pun intended. Oh yes, well, there you go. Fans of 50 Shades of Grey and Sylvia Day's Crossfire trilogy. So, yes. Oh, content guide. Sex, drama, and love. To the last couple of books, which I got when I finally made it to Shakespeare Co in Paris. I went there as part of a library tour. I had a crepe, I sat next to the Notre Dame, and I went to Shakespeare Co. I only had a day in Paris, so I need to go back. It was lots of fun. Expensive, but fun. First up, and I sort of got this because I kind of just collect little copies of A Christmas Carol. This is a copy from 1922, and I just like it. It's got the foreword, or the introduction is in French, but the actual story is in English with French footnotes. And yeah, it's really cute, which is basically the only reason why I bought it, and because Charles Dickens. The second thing that I got, which was sort of just sitting out the front on their little tables, was The Great Night by Chris Adrian. My dog's going feral. And I basically picked it up because I saw the cover. I have never ever heard of this book before, but it's supposed to be a retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. So I'm actually pretty darn excited to read this and see what it's like. That is it for the Great British Book Haul. Let me know if you've read any of the books. If you think any of them are good. Are they crap? Buddy read? Should I really read this? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.